correctly. And I started looking, and now I realized that not only was the buckle broke, but the top track has been bent. So now I'm ordering a new track for that. You're like, where are you going, preacher? Well, here's the thing. I have to do that little project in stages, okay? Tonight we're going to see a healing that happened in stages. Mark records only one miracle where Jesus heals someone in stages. That should make us stop and ask a question, why? Why would he do that? Number one, let me just go ahead and say it up front, okay? So we don't have to kind of fool this any longer. He could have healed him instantly with just a word. We understand that, right? Okay. He had done it many, many times before. Instead, he chose to heal this man gradually. The miracle is not about Jesus lacking power. We know he has the power. It's about teaching his disciples who were in observance there, who were witnessing all this, and us tonight, if we're honest, a lesson about spiritual maturity and being able to be discipled. Just before this miracle, and I'll read the text here in a few moments, just before this miracle, the disciples had seen thousands fed. They had seen the storms calmed. They had seen demons cast out. And Jesus asked them in verse 18 of this same chapter, he goes, having eyes, do you not see? Immediately after this miracle of healing, Peter will confess Jesus as the Christ in verse 29 of this same chapter. But even Peter's understanding is incomplete because he still misunderstood the cross. And this miracle becomes a living illustration of how God opens our spiritual eyes gradually. So let me read Mark chapter number 8. I'm going to start in verse 22 and go to verse 26. The Bible says, and he cometh to Bethsaida. They bring a blind man unto him and besought him to touch him. And he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the town. And when he had spit on his eyes and put his hands upon him, he asked him if he had saw aught. And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking. After that, he put his hands upon his eyes and made him look up, and he was restored. And he saw every man clearly. Verse 26, and he sent him away to his house, saying, neither go into town, nor tell it to any in the town. So the first thing we see is that Jesus meets us where we are. The start of verse 22 says it all. He cometh to Bethsaida. We got to notice three things here I want you to see under this first point. Number one is we see that someone brought him to Jesus. The blind man could not find Jesus on his own, so it says they bring a blind man unto him. Let me just ask you a question. How many people are waiting for someone to bring them to Jesus? How many people we know, are waiting on you to bring them to Jesus? Andrew brought Peter. The four friends brought that friend that was a paralytic. And this man's friends brought him. You know, many people are in darkness, and God uses his people to lead them to the light. Secondly, Jesus took him by the hand. I love that right there when Jesus took